Most business owners sabotage their own funding chances just by applying for the wrong business credit cards. And I know you're probably trying to figure out which credit cards I'm talking about. Don't worry, I'm definitely gonna let you know, because today I'm calling out the 2 worst business credit card offenders. I'm actually gonna explain how they are bad and make sure that you don't go through the same issue I did. So please, 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 please make sure you go get your pen and paper. And without further ado, let's dive in. All right, so I'm gonna break everything off pretty much into sections. So the first section is gonna be why this matters literally to everyone, AKA business owners. So whether you're a brand new entrepreneur, you're just getting into business, or you might be a seasoned entrepreneur and you're already generating 6 figures in business revenue, but you're looking for some extra funding and you wanna make sure that you get the right credit card, then trust me, you don't want these 2, all right? Because the way that you approach business funding kind of determines how fast you either obtain it or how painfully slow you're actually gonna grow. And one of the most common mistakes is applying for business credit cards that look like they will help, but in actuality, they're gonna actually hurt your chances when it comes to scaling the funding. Let me explain. I'm talking specifically about TD Bank Business Credit Card and Capital One Spark Business Credit Card. Now, for all of my people that have been rocking me for a while, I've actually talked about TD Bank and the data points, but I'm kind of reneging on it because I just don't want you to go through what I actually went through with me and also my clients. And also on top of that, before you even say, well, I've heard of those, I heard they are really good. Yeah, they are good, but let's actually break down why they're actually not. Especially if you're trying to protect yourself from credit, stack funding, and you're trying to build long-term leverage, all right? So here's the deal. When you're building a business credit profile, your goal is supposed to be very, very simple. You want to separate from you, AKA your personal self, and the business. Why? Because business funding lets you access way more capital than on the personal side without actually maxing out your personal credit cards or tanking your credit score. Does that make sense? Think of it like this. Your business should be its own entity. It literally earns money, borrows money, builds credit, and gets the funding. Separate from your personal name and your credit report for the most part. So when a card actually says business, but it still reports to personal credit, that defeats the whole purpose. I might as well just go get a personal credit card. And unfortunately, both TD Bank and Capital One Spark reports to personal credit and your business credit. So let's go ahead and go over why this is a red flag. And some of you already know, but I'm just gonna break this down a little more. Let's actually walk through what actually happens when you use one of these cards and you're actually utilizing your personal credit utilization. When you get approved for, just for example, when you get approved for $10,000 with a Capital One, Spark card, you're excited, right? Yeah, I'm gonna be doing all these great things. You're about to go run these ads, you're about to go buy inventory, you even hired a contractor to get your website set up, your school.com, all of this type of stuff. Normal stuff to, really grow your business. So you swipe $8,000. Cool, right? But guess what happens next? $8,000 or 8K is going to show up on your personal credit report, which means that your utilization just spiked up 80% and your personal credit score is going to drop extremely fast. Even though this was a business expense, so now not only do you owe $8,000, but when you go apply for business funding, you get denied. What's going on? I just got approved. All because of a card that was marketed as a business tool, but actually played you on your personal side and messed that up. See where I'm going with this? So not only do you have the red flags, but you also now have the domino effect. Why? Because here's the scary part. Most people do not realize because they're just so adequate about getting the funding. When your personal credit score tanks, even temporarily, it impacts literally everything. This is why I tell everybody that I have consultations with, comment section, anything of that nature, you have to do your due diligence. And even though I talked about this on my channel a few times about TD Bank in a few of my videos where you can actually do this and you go get TD Bank and things of that nature, this is why I always tell you to fact check everything, because even when I went to go get the TD Bank credit card, I automatically saw it pop up on my personal credit. I was like, the rep never told me that this was actually gonna be a thing. And I really didn't see it anywhere else. And the other people that got the TD Bank business credit card, they never actually told me, but it dawned on me, I never actually asked. So, you don't ask, you don't know. So this is me actually warning you and telling you, hey, if you don't wanna mess up your personal credit, then I don't believe that this will be the card for you. But for all of my super savvy people out there that are just looking for the funding, you're like, hey, I just need $10,000 and I promise you I'm gonna get over that hump, whatever it is, as far as 100K month or anything like that, I'm probably not gonna use my credit for another 9-10 months, I'll be able to pay this off easily, then please be my guest, get the TD card. But again, if you're just looking to separate both, then I do not believe that this is gonna be for you. Because again, I also was able to help one of my clients get approved for this as well. They had a similar issue where, again, even though I gave you an example, it was kind of real because they swiped $8,000 and now it's showing up on their personal credit. Now they're trying to pay everything down or get that residual from the investment so they can go ahead and pay it down. And now that their personal credit and their utilization goes back down because they're looking for more funding, but technically they can't because they're up 80%. So, just learn from these lessons, and please don't just skim through everything. Always take everything with a grain of salt, and always fact check everything that I say, and even everybody else says, okay? Because again, I'm gonna continue to reiterate this. Your data point research is key, because not all business credit cards are truly business credit cards. So by saying all that, I say that some are just, disgusting traps, and you have to, make sure that you do your due diligence and nothing is actually affecting you the way that you don't want it to. So how do we actually do the right research? This is what I want you to do to avoid any of these. The simple rule is know before you apply. Don't even just watch my video or anybody else's video and be like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Always do your due diligence. Before you fill out any business credit card application, ask these 3 questions, okay? Number 1, does this report to my personal credit, business credit, or both? Self-explanatory, because I just told you about it throughout this whole video. Now, you want the cards that only report on the business side, especially if you're scaling and or stacking business credit cards. Number 2, what bureau does this pull from? Some banks pull from Experian, some banks pull from Equifax. Knowing this would help you avoid unnecessary inquiries and lower your score. And here's another gem for you. Sometimes they'll tell you that they're only pulling from, for example, Equifax, but they'll peek at your personal as far as, your TransUnion or Experian. Sometimes they can deny you of that, but they won't actually tell you. Trust me, I know this from experience. So always remember that as well when applying. And number 3, what are the approval data points? I keep telling everybody on my channel, I'm telling you, it's not like a super secret when you ask these relationship managers or anything like that. They will definitely tell you, all right? Some don't know, but some do know. Trust me, they'll tell you because they don't want to waste your time, and they darn sure don't want to waste their time. So to go even more into depth into that, you want to know, do they actually care about income? Do they care about personal credit? Do they need your EIN? PGing or non-PGing? These are the things that you have to ask for within the questions that I'm giving you, because this is where the real business funding strategy comes in. Because if you're just applying randomly based on ads, reward points, then you're just going to end up digging yourself in a hole extremely fast. So the analogy to kind of counterbalance all of this is, well, building your business credit like you're constructing a house. Let me give you an example. Your personal credit is kind of like the foundation of everything, but the business credit structure sits basically on top of that, sitting nice and pretty. Now imagine you building that house, but every time you lay a brick, you're also punching holes in the foundation. That doesn't even make any sense. That's what happens when you just use business credit cards that report to the personal side. Again, there's no veil. So what are we doing? You think you're actually stacking progress, but you're actually just weakening the base more and more and more, and everything's just gonna crumble. And that's how people get denied and stay stuck and miss out on $50,000 to $250,000 in funding they could have secured. So here's the plan to unravel all of this. Avoid TD Bank business and avoid Capital One Spark cards. And if you're trying to preserve personal credit, then please prioritize business credit that reports only to the business bureaus, okay? Unless you default or anything, and I know you're not gonna do that. The next thing I need you to understand is know your data points before you apply. And remember, funding is a strategy, not a gamble. You're not shotgunning things, okay? Because the goal isn't to get one card approved, it's building a system that gives you access to leverage over and over again. Now, for all of my people that have been watching this, you're like, yo man, that sounds awesome, that sounds great, but I still don't know where to start. I thought I was gonna start at TD Bank, maybe Capital One because they sent me something in the mail. What should I actually do? So if you've been denied for funding or you're stuck and you just want to avoid the traps that keep most entrepreneurs stuck, especially the new ones, then I've got a full breakdown for you on how to secure and scale real funding inside of my program. and that is the How to Credit Start program, where I'm helping all entrepreneurs that get in this, that are trying to scale their business, even start their business, get the funding that they're looking for as far as the $50,000 to $250,000. Only thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna structure your credit profile, get your business credit in order, make sure that we hold your hand every step of the way, and make sure that you get the funding that you're looking for. So if that's something that you're interested in, click the link below and sign up for a call today. I'm telling you right now. I wanna thank you guys for stopping by. Now, please make sure you avoid both of these credit cards right now so you don't go through the headache that I went through, all right? And until next time, ladies and gents.